Welcome to the Marriage Can Win show. I'm Eric and Dr. Sakeisha Hollick, the relationship experts.
We are so excited here at Marriage Can Win. Our mission is to educate, empower, and encourage couples to embrace the fact that marriage can win, especially when you focus on three key areas: improving your communication skills, developing your money management skills so you're not living paycheck to paycheck, and enhancing your intimacy skills.
We like to invite you and your family members to join the broadcast. And when you do, share out the broadcast and also start a watch party.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram under Marriage Can Win, and we'll definitely follow you back. So today we are super excited. We have a dynamic guest with us on this Super Saturday. Our guest today is Debbie Allen. She's a phenomenal business growth and market positioning expert. She's an internationally recognized business growth and market positioning expert. She's been a professional speaker and a business mentor for over 25 years. She's presented before thousands in over 28 countries. Not cities, not states, but countries. She's a best-selling author of 9 books, including The Highly Paid Expert and Success is Easy. She's a VIP contributor for Entrepreneur Magazine and an award-winning entrepreneur who's built and sold numerous million-dollar companies in diverse industries. So to all of our guests that are watching, either live or via the replay, I want you guys to say welcome to Debbie Allen. Debbie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. And they thought, hey, you're going to have a Debbie Allen on the show. Is she going to choreograph dancing or something? I'm not. That's Debbie Allen. Remember my name, Fame. I used to do that as my walk-on. But, hey, I've got DebbieAllen.com as my website. I've had it since 97. So sometimes I actually get speaking engagements. They think it's her. And I get all kinds of, hey, we met at this party. I'm like, yeah, that was not me. I think that was But I do dance on tables sometimes in bars. But
okay.
Which is already famous.
Yeah. All right. Well, Debbie, for all of our first-time viewers or our returning viewers, for those that you may not be familiar with Debbie, do you want to take one moment and just tell our listeners a little bit more about you other than what's in the bio? Because you've authored 9 books. You're a dynamic mentor and speaker. What else tidbit can you share with our listeners this morning?
Give you the low-down dirty. All right.
Okay.
I am someone that barely passed high school. I've never attended a day of college. I had to learn business from the School of Hard Knocks. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 19 years old. And I grew up just outside of Gary, Indiana. Me and Michael Jackson, okay? So it was a tough place to grow up because, especially in the business, the first business we started, my parents weren't entrepreneurs, but later in life, my dad started a car rental business. And what a better business to start in Gary, Indiana, when we're in the number 1 place for car thefts in the whole country. Like, hey, people need cars. That made sense. I think business is problem, solution. That was a great solution. But I learned to be tough in business really quickly because I had to I was dealing with some mobsters, drug lords coming into repairs. I'm going to repossess cars. I'm in my early 20s because you got to do whatever we got to get our cars back. I didn't think about it. Most parents take you to movies and parks, and my parents are like, hey, we're gonna go repossess a car tonight.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's the low down dirty. Yeah, I come from Gary, Indiana. So it was a really tough environment to grow up in, but the best because it really taught me to go, hey, whatever it takes in business. I was in my I joined the family business when I was 19. I bought into the business at 19 because I wanted to do more than get a paycheck and knew that it was going to be growing. And the business was just thrown at me, like, go figure it out. Can you imagine, like, in your 20s, I think about the businesses that me and my brother ran, and my dad was out, like, networking and, going to the health club and then, networking at the bar. And we were running this at really young ages, and we grew it from 5 cars to 250 cars. The business is still there 50 years later. My brother still runs it. It's amazing. Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Wow.
That's phenomenal. So you mentioned that you said that you kind of got your training on the job training. So what was your aha moment, your defining moment that said, yeah, this is something I want to do. I'm going to step out on faith, even though it looks like opening, working with the cars and being in an area in which there's high theft, it may look like, oh, should I do this? But what was that driving factor that caused you to say, you know what, I'm going for it?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was going for it because either that or have to go to college, which was not an option because I had terrible grades in high school, barely passed, right? So that was an option. The other was go get a job. Okay, I have to spell it because I'm way, way, way too independent. So I wasn't born an entrepreneur as far as like, okay, having that, silver spoon, this is the way to go. It was just like, I was way too independent, and I've always wanted to learn what I wanted to learn because I liked it or enjoyed it. I was a terrible student when I had to learn something, but when I wanted to learn something to do it in business, and there was just always this love of business that I had. At a very young age, I was working in the school offices all the time. I wanted to get out of class and do the office stuff and be behind the scenes and see how it worked. And I've just always felt that way. I wanted to be in business. I couldn't wait to own a business. And I think that because my dad started that business, and I was at that age where I was looking for something, and then my brother was just handed the business, like his portion, I had to buy into it. I'm like, I don't care. I'll prove myself. I'll take part of my paycheck and buy into it, and be part of it. Because you do think differently when you own your own business. You know that, like, you're just going to work differently, harder, 80 hours a week instead of 60. But nobody's telling you what to do. You're going to tell yourself to do that because you want to make it happen. And then we built that car rental business, and then we also built the first mini storage business in the Northwest Indiana. And all the bankers told my dad it was going to be it's just a fad. What is this? It's like mini storage. Who needs that? People have garages. And then I told my dad that too. I'm like, well, I don't understand it. And he's like, okay, get in the car. And he would just drive me around. He's like, see all those people in all those apartments? Where are they going to put all their stuff? People have stuff. Oh yeah, I never thought people have stuff. So the bankers gave us just a little bit of money. We had to finish, a lot of the work ourselves and prove it. We had 100% occupancy before the buildings were done.
Wow.
It grew so fast. It was like there was a need, but people couldn't see it, just like any, new idea. And then we built another facility, and it just did really well with that. And then we sold it a few years later. Our first $1 million, it was my first $1 million sale before the age of 30. And we sold to a big company called Public Storage, which is all over the country.
Yeah, that's everywhere. But you were talking about like being in school. Yeah, because in school, you're forced to take the courses that you don't like, but then when you can do something and that you enjoy, you spend all your time doing it. You want to learn, you want to research, you want to Google, you want to read books. And see that, and the best thing about it is you have the family business, so you see it and you live it each day. So you're just learning business, and that's the best way of doing it is live. You know what I mean? It's like you got an internship for life. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. It was a gift. I mean, it was. I can't believe some of the things we did. We look back and go, wow. I guess we didn't know what we couldn't do back then, so we just plowed along and made it happen. Here's one of the things I was recently doing a new seminar after my Success is Easy book came out, and all of these stories were coming out on stage because it was like, hey, it's my event. I'm doing this to get video. I had a small audience, and I'm like, I'm just bringing out stories. Like, just my husband's like, I never heard that story before. I'm like, so I was talking about how one day this gentleman came in and he gave me his credit card. He wanted to rent the car. Well, back then, I'm going to age myself, but they had these books, these pamphlets. You would get this pamphlet, and there's like these little tiny credit card numbers there you'd have to look at and look and see if their number was on there. So here, they're standing there, and you got to look at the card. And I look again, and his number's on there. Well, okay. So I'm in my early 20s, right? And I'm thinking, hey, I get I think it was like $50. $50 back then was like a lot of money. And if you cut the credit card up and send it into the credit card company to get the money. So I looked at him. I looked at the numbers. My brother's on the other side of the office, and he's looking at me thinking, you're not going to do it, right? And I go reach for the scissors, and my brother's thinking, you're going to die. Like this is a thug, right? And I'm this young punk kid, right? And I just go, and I cut his credit card in front of him. You should have seen his face. I'm cutting up your card. And I told this from stage, and people were just cracking up, and they were like, and I think about, that was my thing where I'm like, where are you tough enough to get past anything? I'm like, I was so young, and this guy was a big, tough guy, and I just cut his card. And I didn't think about it. I'm just thinking $50 to me was like, and that was the right thing to do, because you shouldn't be having that card if he's bad credit card, right? So I think about some stuff that I did that was a little gutsy even when I was younger, and I think that pulls me through other things where I go, this is nothing, right?
Wow.
Now that makes me think, when you're talking about, being tough enough. So what are some other strategies that you think are key or essential for people that are willing to step out and they want to position their business for success? What are some other things that you think they're going to have to do, or some strategies that they're going to have to incorporate into their business? Because you got, like you said, you have to be tough enough to get past some of those challenging times. What are some other things that they could do?
Well, when I decided to leave the family business, I was just looking for the next opportunity. I love to hear how people go to the next chapter in their life, like you guys have. Like, how long have you been doing this? How did you end up doing this? And just hearing about different chapters. So I was looking for that next chapter, and then I bought a clothing store that lost money for 6 years. And so everybody said, you're crazy. So I think when somebody tells you you're on the crazy train, you're onto something good. That's good for entrepreneurs, because you're like, you're innovative. You're disruptive and you're innovative. So I like it all crazy. I bought that store. I paid money to buy that store that lost money. And I took it from $100,000 to $2.5 million in 2 years. I never working a day in retail. But again, I didn't do it by myself. And so that's, I guess, the answer to it. It's like, don't think you have to do it by yourself. Follow your dreams and know that you're going to find people to support you. If you're enthusiastic and you want to learn, I didn't have the knowledge, but I had the enthusiasm and the passion to want to turn it around so bad. I mean, it's a lot better than repossessing cars, rental cars, and dressing up every day and make women feel good about getting new clothes. And I realized that women weren't buying new clothes just to buy new clothes. Women buy clothes when they fall in love and when they fall out of love. That's where they really spend the bucks. That major retail therapy, right? So they were coming and tell me about the divorce they're going through, or the new boyfriend they've got, or looking really good to go to court, because be envious, right? So the stories they will tell you. I mean that, and so that's what was, that emotional connection that we had, and. But learning how to market my business and position it was the key. And then I found my first mentors when I was 30 years old, when I bought that first retail store, and I did everything they told me to do. I mean, everybody in this group had 17 to 30 years experience, and I had 6 months experience. I was clueless, making nothing. But they said, we want to take you under our wing and let you fly with us. And I was like, wow, I got invited, and you're inviting me back to this meeting. Why? What do I have to share? Because networking is about sharing and giving. And they said, because you're so enthusiastic, we've taken our business for granted sometimes. We want to watch you grow, and we see that you do see your vision. Like, I could see vision that far, that young. I could see vision because I had done it with so many businesses already by the time I was 30, that I could see a vision and then go, okay, and live it before I got there. So, the confidence level was there, and just keep plowing along, keep going, just follow the path, and don't stop. Because if you really have a strong vision on where you're going, and you're really passionate and enthusiastic about it, don't worry about the how. Don't worry that you don't know how to know something. I've started everything not knowing anything. So It worked.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I think that's a key topic, because when you think about couples, there's sometimes something on the inside of them that they know they're called to do, but they allow things like fear to hold them back, or the fact that they don't have all the information. And what you said was so key. You don't have to do it by yourself. And then being mindful, you got to have a strong vision. So we applaud for those couples out there that are listening, or for those that are watching the replay, put a note on there, hashtag, you don't have to do it by yourself. That's a key thing. And another hashtag, have a strong vision, because that's really going to be imperative, because not everybody's going to see things the way you see it. You could look at that business. You can look at the fact that, okay, there's a high rate of crime, or, a car theft, but I still see something here. And even like you said, I believe you said it was with your dad, looking at those apartments and recognizing they had a place where they needed to store things. So there was a problem, and you guys provided the solution. So don't minimize it. For those that are listening, make sure that you don't shrink back. You've got gifts on the inside of you that can help solve the problem. You were created with the answer to someone's problem. So don't be afraid to step out and launch out to the deep. Exercise that strong vision and execute it. You don't have to know everything. So I think what you said was truly key.
That's the key.
That's it right there. I'm writing a big star by that one.
We'll do a couple more hashtags to that. The how is none of your hashtag. The how is none of your business. Hashtag, don't play small.
Okay, don't play small. I like that one. Don't
it.
Play small.
And a lot of us have the answers that people are looking for. There's so many questions out there, and we just need someone to point us in the direction of, hey, that is an idea to $1 million business.
Right.
You got to start it, because you have the answer and you're sitting on it.
Absolutely.
It is.
Absolutely.
Well, so you guys found the gift. You guys found the gift early on. 20 some years of marriage. You found each other. You made it work. I had to go through 2 trial husbands to get my dream husband.
Okay.
But I don't think I was ready. I mean, but I really do call them the trial husbands, because I had to learn to grow up and be different. But they were the wrong people, and I had to go. And you've talked to people on the show, being able to walk away and know that you value yourself more. I mean, I will just be straight up with you. I mean, my first marriage, I got married. My first love, he was adorable. He was charming. He was a wonderful person. We grew up together from a very young age. But he decided that he wanted to date, and that didn't go over real well with me. Yeah, especially when he was dating and he got her pregnant, and I was on fertility drugs. So I know you're going to get to these questions, so I'm just going to let it out there, down and dirty again, right?
Okay.
I'm on fertility drugs. You got somebody else pregnant, but you still want to get back with me? Should we live in a commune together? I don't know. I think I should move on. That was number one.
All right. So we learned to establish boundaries.
Boundaries. And your question is going to be, do you have any children? No, I don't, but I tried really hard.
Okay.
I had to go through that fertility at a very young age, and I was going through all of that hardship, wanting to have children when he was dating. So but you get past it. But that was also my thing of going. I laugh about it now, but I mean, it was also a part of me saying, I'm going to put this as far as I can, because I don't want to be in my 40s, 50s, and 60s and say, oh, maybe if I tried harder and I would have tried, more fertility drugs, or I would have done something else. I had the surgery that I did to get pregnant, whatever. I want to do everything that I can, because I don't want to look back and say I didn't try hard enough, and maybe I could have had a child. And I did everything. And so I never look at that, and I think that I kind of made my business and my career like my babies. And I call my clients my business family, because they really, truly are my family. And I think that I have that kind of feeling because of that extension. That's where I was put on earth, and I accepted that. Okay, you're not supposed to have children. You're supposed to do business the way you're doing and help a lot of people, instead of bringing one more person into the world. And that's how I've always looked at it.
All right. So now another nugget for those that listen, you got to have proper perspective.
Yes, yes.
You gotta
Positive.
Well, I have a question. Have you ever thought about adoption, maybe?
Well, we actually got a divorce, so that didn't work. And then I was for quite a while before I married again. Trial husband number 2. A whole nother story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But then I did, and then I was single 20 years after that I would never ever get married again, because when you say this show, marriage can win.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I believed that for 20 years. Now,
okay.
Really 2 tough marriages. So I was engaged twice in that single time. So it wasn't like I wasn't dating and had some did a lot of online dating. For 3 months. If I can add up all my 3-month dating, really, I can't even remember all the names. But I wrote a book on that, of course. Write a book on that. But anyway, so you don't want to hear about that one. That's too a whole other show. We could do a whole nother show. Confessions of Shameless Dating. Yes, I wrote that book. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Don't look at it. You might find a used copy on Amazon for like $1 or something.
Okay.
Don't know me for that. But anyways, it was a fun time. But I really didn't think I was ever going to get married again, because then you get more and more independent. And then, so when I met my husband, I've now been married 6 years, it was like, I say it, all my friends say it, all my family say it. He's worthy. I found the worthy.
Wow. Wow.
Awesome that you found the right one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that also means like patience is key, because sometimes it takes us a while. We have to go through patterns which we grow and we learn, and then you connect with that right person. But there are times like before I met my husband, there, you're with someone and then you're like, you just kind of know, you go through those phases.
Yeah.
And then the person, like, even after 26 years of being together, the person that I am now is not the person I was when we first met. So we had to learn to grow and evolve together.
Yes.
And it's a process. It's a process. It's not easy.
But
Definitely.
the things that we've done and the experiences that we shared make us who we are today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some of and that's why we have our defining moment in life. And our defining moment in our marriage actually pushed us into this business, and now we're helping, many couples and singles. We believe in educating and empowering and encourage them with all the tools and strategies, so that, because if you think about it, we go to school to learn about business, and some of us are blessed to have life experiences in business, but how many of us are taught what it means to have a successful relationship? We basically live to learn when it comes to relationship. We make the mistakes, but sometimes, if we just had a little education about it, and what it looks like, what a successful relationship looks like, we have something to see and say, now I wonder how that happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
or work on it and ask yourself questions that you don't ask in regular life. Like before we jumped on the show, I was asking, like, when's your retreat? Because me and my husband want to come to it, right?
of course, yeah.
And we've been to some, and I've never, because he's wanting to always better things, and just work and having conversations that we had that weekend that we spent together, questions we don't ask each other. And getting to the point of like, well, how'd you feel about that? I thought you felt this way, but then you felt this way. And when you did this, you hurt me, but I realized you didn't mean to hurt me. And we got that out, and it was just so good to work on it. And we just felt bonded and so much better. And we'll continue to go to those couples retreats, and we can't wait to go to yours.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and that is key. Communication is really so key to be able to talk and have a safe zone and a trust zone, because then you ask the questions that you, like you said, you don't normally ask, and then you get the answers that you don't normally answer because you feel safe and you trust the other person with some of your inner feelings and your inner emotions that you normally would have a wall against because of life trauma, life experiences. And so when you get to that point where you feel like, I can tell that person, your wife, anything and everything, and she'll be able to handle it, the good and the bad, the ugly and the pretty, then now you feel that more connection. Like you were saying, you feel connected.
Definitely. Definitely. And sometimes you're afraid to ask questions, and it's like your best friend and your person you're with most in life. And then you're afraid to ask something because we are so close. We love each other so much that it's like you don't want to be hurt. So, and especially if you've been hurt before, you don't ask those questions and you just keep it inside. And then when you go to those things, it's like everybody's working on it. Or they're working on the questions, they're working on talking to each other, and it just opens you up to do what you wouldn't have done in your privacy of your own home. And we know that it works because we keep going back and doing that, and it's always been good. And we brought friends that have been married for many, many years, and that was just like really helpful for them too.
Wow.
Wow, I like to hear those stories. Yeah.
And as I listened to you, you were talking about the different challenges you've had to overcome, that, as far as opening your business. You've talked about relationships and marriage. What is it that keeps you so focused or so driven, like to just keep going in the midst of adversity? You talked about the sharing your personal story in terms of the fertility drugs. What is it that just caused you to say, you know what, I understand this happened, but I'm going to keep going forward?
Because I want to help people. I really have this sense of helping people, and I want to do that. So one of my things is when I have success, I want to share it. But always like giving back. So when I got into wanting to be a mentor after I had 15 years in retail, so we'll fast forward that, building and selling retail stores. And then I've had such amazing success. I want to help people. And I went to this huge show in Vegas, and there was no seminars or anything. People are just selling them at this trade show. And I went up to one of my sales reps and I said, why are we not having seminars here, like to learn? Because I have this amazing group of mentors, and I'm sure people don't have that opportunity. And he goes, well, you could teach that class. And I said, yeah, I could teach that class. And not only could I teach that class, I will get standing room only, and I will prove to them they need to have seminars here. And then he goes, great, I'll introduce you to the guy that runs the show. And I'm like, ah! So I told him this too, like this confidence, like, right, like he's going to say, I'm not a speaker. I mean, I'd been to Toastmasters and done fashion shows. Well, I was not a speaker then, right? And so he said, okay, because I told him I'd fill the room, standing room only, and prove it. And then I said, okay, we'll do the show like 2 or 3 days later, because I want to come to the show and be a shameless promoter and, pass out the flyers and make sure I work this so I can get that room full. Okay, imagine Vegas in the morning.
Wow.
Seminars, okay, and you're going to be standing room only. Oh my gosh. Well, I did. I had standing room only, and I proved them that they needed seminars, and that's how I launched my paid speaking career 25 years ago. So sometimes you say, oh, I'm going to do this. How I'm going to do it. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just knew that there was a need. Again, I knew there was a need, and that if the need is there bad enough, and you don't want to give up, you're just going to go for it. And it wasn't selfish. So I always wanted to share. I wanted to help people. And it's always been in my core of wanting to help people, especially since that 25 years ago when I started a speaking business. And I think it happened because I had that wonderful group of mentors that just took me under the wing and helped me. And I'm like, I got to pay back. So I will tell you that, that is a core. And you talked about in your form you sent me about our core values. And I love those words, because you can't change who somebody is as a core. Right. So if you're looking for your next husband, here, some of you are on here single. This was what I did 20 some years. Like, I don't think marriage can work again. I don't know. When all those online dating, he was like, okay. So when I met my husband, he just moved from California over to Arizona. Oh, wow. And he didn't, wasn't here very long. And I thought, oh, wow, those pictures online, he's really hot, like, yeah, right. But those probably are like old. He doesn't look like that anymore. Like, I've had all those bad dates. And so I told him, I said, I'm going to a party. And it was like a meeting party for my speakers group. And I said, I will meet you there, but we'll know in 15 minutes if we like each other or not. Just so you know, I'm going to be dressed up, and don't feel bad if I end up wanting to leave. And so he had to drive an hour to meet me. And he's driving there, he's thinking, I want to turn around and go back. Like, this chick is already telling me, like, if she doesn't know in 15 minutes, right? So our first date lasted 6 hours.
Wow.
For 2 hours, what we talked about was core values, what we believe And it was just like, I never had that conversation with anybody on a date like that, and who you are, and got to know him like as a person. And I was just like, wow. I called my mom and I'm like, I know I've told you this before, like I met Mr. Right, but I don't know if there's gonna be a love card there, or if I'm gonna get the friend card, because he's, very much a gentleman. But I said, I met a really amazing person who has the same core values as me and wants to help people too. And he's been a really successful entrepreneur, but he doesn't flaunt it. He's very humble, and he's hot. So he looked as good. Okay, we get up there. Okay, so that's him. That's us now. All right.
Oh, I like it.
So he's a hunk of burning love, and he looked better than his picture.
All right.
And so, yeah, checked all the boxes, and he still checks all the boxes 6 years later.
Wow.
The rest of my life. But I never really was married to somebody that had the same core beliefs. And again, we probably wouldn't have, maybe not made it work if we were younger, but we're both entrepreneurs, so we can both work, we both love what we do. And he's the biggest support system for what I do. No matter how busy he is, he drops everything to support me when I'm doing my events or any technology or things I need. He is there for me all the time. And I've never had that experience. And it was so hard. And ladies, listen up, is if you're independent as I am, you got to know what the needs are of your spouse or significant other. Is that his need is to give. He's a really excellent cook. So he cooks, and I'll go, oh my gosh, quit making that stuff. I'm gaining weight. And he'll be like, I don't care. I just want you to be happy. I want you to have good food. And then, and the same with helping me. I'm like, and I'm so used to like pushing back because I was so independent. And that's really our only times we ever have like any kind of a little fight or friction is when I'm pushing back because he doesn't get what he needs, which is to give. And he's not a great receiver on his end, but he loves to be a giver. And most of the time I'm loving it, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't want that egg for breakfast, and I don't want you to, I want to just, just like, because he's always like, well, I can't leave without feeding you, and I can't, I'm just not, I was not used to that. And I'm still, after being together 8 years now total, I still have days where I gotta go pull back and go, wait, this is not about you, Deb. This is about allowing him to fulfill what he needs is to give to you. And I'm like, whoa, it's just so cool. It really is.
I like
it's like we were talking about our defining moments. It's a defining moment in life when you meet that person and you just connect and you both have the passion of doing something in life. It's not a job. It's not a career. Yeah. It's a passion. It's something that you enjoy doing. And when a person enjoys giving and helping others, it's not hard. It's not something you have to be forced to do. It's something that you put all your effort to. And then when you have that one individual and you have two individuals that synchronize together, you make an awesome dream team. And that's what it sounds like you have in that dream team. But sometimes we ask God, like, why did I have to go through all the things, all the experiences of life to get to where I am today? But now that we are here in this point in time, we can look back and say, wow, I wouldn't be here if this didn't happen, if this didn't happen. And you wouldn't be to the point where you're satisfied with where you are in life and you're extremely happy and you're extremely, satisfied with life and you're enjoying life with the person that you truly love, that you can truly, your best friend, and you're doing the things in life, you're helping you're really what you're doing is passing a legacy to others. Every person that you help, you and your husband help, you're actually imparting into them. You're imparting something into them that's going to go beyond our lifetime because now they're going to receive some love. And to give is love. And when you're giving that love to someone, it's going to pass on. That legacy is going to pass. Because now they have love and they're going to want to give to someone else. And they may have a barrier. They may be going through things in life that has caused some trauma in them mentally. But because they receive some love, that barrier is now coming down. It's coming down. And now they're going to, in return, push that love. As a lot of people say, pay it forward. You pay it forward to someone else, and then it's like a domino effect. And it's just that defining moment in life when you find the person that you love, and you find something that you're doing, and you're in a position where you can be a distribution center.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys are. And it's really so awesome.
It is. It is really. We were sitting last night, as we sit in our chairs in the living room and we have our conversations, and he just always reaches for my hand. And it's just really sweet. And he goes, oh, Deb, I just feel like we're so blessed. Everybody's going through this challenge now with COVID-19, and there's people that are hurting and families don't have money. And we're just so, so blessed. Not only that we don't have to worry about money, we don't have to worry about that, but the thing is that we have each other, and we go through this together. And we've actually been so playful and fun and having really great times. We have a new puppy, and we just laugh at her, and we got her little swimming pool the other day. She's only 5 pounds, and we just play every day. We do something to play and laugh. And I've actually really enjoyed this time with him. Yeah. That, I'm sure a lot of couples are like ready to we've actually, we find time to laugh and be goofy with each other every day. And that's, that's how we've gotten through this lockdown.
I like that.
Wow.
Find time to laugh.
And that's good that you get to a point in your relationship where your joy comes from just being with each other.
Yeah.
I told my wife, I said, I just enjoy having you in my midst.
Yeah, I remember that.
But that is awesome. From listening to you and a little bit about your life, is how you persevered through the different challenges, and how you went through different experiences, and each time you go through something, each time you accomplish something, you go to the next level in life as a person, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, and that's really where that's really like a pathway for people to come. Like you say, you want to be a mentor. Really, all they got to do is exactly just listen to you and your stories and your experiences, and people can learn.
And here's one of the keys: is you have to learn not to self-sabotage yourself.
That's true.
We have negative and limited beliefs that hold us back from, or if something pushes a button, and it's happened in our relationship. We push a button, and it's like, it's not him, it's my past.
Right.
He pushed a button from my past that I didn't deal with, and I could have easily self-sabotaged, going, I don't need this. I'm in that whole independent spirit. I don't need this crap. And it's so easy to self-sabotage in your business and in your personal life and in your relationships, because somebody's pushing a button, and they're not necessarily trying to push your button. It's just something from your past that is going to come up. I mean, we work on stuff, and I've done a ton of personal development and worked on my life, but occasionally things will come up that it's like, where'd that come from? But I have to be aware and then get back to balance, and never let that self-sabotage your relationship or your business, because I see that happening with people all the time, and they go into it a lot of times with a sabotage in the back as plan B. So what they do is like, okay, I'll start this business, and if it doesn't work, I can always go back and get a job. No. Plan A is the only option here. You don't go and get a job after you gotta make this work, because I have people come to me like, I'm not going to personally mentor you with that attitude, because I believe in you, and I'm not going to let you fail. I'm just not. I see the path. I see where you're going. You just have to trust it and stay with it. Don't give up on this. And I think the same thing happens in relationships, is that you're going to go through those peaks and valleys, and you're going to want to give up some days. And you got to look at, the whole big picture of it versus what's happening right then. Or go into yourself and say, what things are being pushed? Why was I acting like that? And those were things that were coming up from my past. It wasn't what was going on that day. And so then we'd have a conversation about it, and it'd be like, and then we just get beyond it. But we've had to learn to do that. And what you guys teach has helped us. I mean, we're really both very, very successful entrepreneurs. But that doesn't mean we know everything about relationships or how to communicate. I mean, I've been communicating on stage for over 25 years all around the world, but sometimes my communication, my relationship doesn't play out the same way. And when he pushes my button the most is when he says, "You're a bad communicator." I'm like, "No, you did."
Oh, wow.
And something that you said just after listening or having this conversation with you, it's now I'm understanding a little bit more, because sometimes like you'll look at the fact that someone's hugely successful and you wonder, okay, how'd they come up with the title for that book? So now that book, Success is Easy. Now I kind of understand it a little bit more. Did you want to take a moment and kind of share with our listeners about that book?
Sure. I wrote that book because I wanted to tell people what I really truly believe, because why have we been told this lie all of our lives that success has to be hard? Because again, you've heard that every business I've started, I didn't know anything about, didn't have the money, didn't have the knowledge, didn't have the direction, but I wanted it bad enough to make it happen. So I know that success is easier, so much easier than failure, because success is all around us. I mean, just get online, go Google anything, go to YouTube, watch a video. I mean, when I grew up, I didn't have that, right? Go to the library, but success is all around you. And here's the key is knowing to ask for it, knowing when to move on it. And that's been my key in building it through relationships besides personal relationship, business relationships. I've always been really good with that. And so success is easy. I mean, think about it. Would you rather take a path where you follow somebody who's been there and done that, right? That's the path of success right here. Take my steps. I'm going to give them to you. Go, 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 go straight up like this. Or you want to do it by yourself, which is success is hard, which is this path that goes like this. Oh, it's like a maze. I'm over here. Oh no, that's not the way out. Okay, I gotta go this direction. And look how long that takes. And then that's hard. It's just like in relationships, is that people choose to make success hard. They choose to make relationships hard. If you choose to make it easy, success will find you. Success wants to find a place to go. So it just as money wants a place to go. It wants a direction. And if you sabotage it, or you put a barrier up because you don't believe in yourself, or if you're not taking the right action steps, then success won't go to you and money won't go to you. It'll go to somebody else that's ready to receive. And, opportunities are just surrounding you. And it's not that successful people have more luck or more opportunities. It's just they see them. Like I see things now. I'm a business intuitive. I've learned to do that by just being in business for so many years and being this visionary kind of person that I am, is that, I just see that there's a path of least resistance. And that would be find the successful people doing what you do and go there. Just like you are successful in your marriage and you are, the advocates for marriage can win. I mean, who doesn't want to follow that wants a strong marriage and read your books and go to your events and follow you. You're the evangelist for that. And that's what you do. And, I help people position their business and be successful. And why not follow me? I've got a track record. And I think that's, it can be easy if you find the right people to follow.
I like that. So for for our listeners, make sure you put that in the notes. Success is easy, especially when you find the right people to follow. So that's right. I've got all these nuggets of wisdom that we're just gleaning from this evening. So those of you that are listening, if you're listening live or if you're listening to the replay, make sure you put that in your notes. Definitely success is easy when you have the right person to follow. And you're connected with so many dynamic people. You're bringing so much to the stage. You talked about being a mentor and a speaker. So was that your aha moment when you had to fill that room in Vegas? Was that your moment where you said, you know what, I'm just going to step out and I'm going to do it?
I said, what the hell am I doing? I don't know. And that was because I wanted to help people. That wasn't because I wanted to start a speaking career. I had no idea that people made money as a speaker, really. I asked my sales rep, then he says, what should I charge? He said $1,000. I said $1,000, I was okay. And so it wasn't really that, but I'll tell you that I want to tell you a little bit more about how that Success is Easy book happened, because it's really like, I look back and go, oh my gosh, this really happened? Because what I do is I speak my mind, and this is one of the things you want to speak your mind and get your ask in gear. I'm spelling that ASK. And so that's how Success Easy actually happened. So I was in a seminar at the National Speakers Convention, and I was on how to get a best-selling book. And this gentleman that was speaking had sold 500,000 copies of his book. And his book was published by Entrepreneur Magazine. And I would look at that. I look at Entrepreneur Magazine every month, and I see those books in the back, and I see Brian Tracy and Dan Kennedy and all people I followed, and Jeffrey Hazlett and all these people that have books back there. I'm like, how do you get your book featured in Entrepreneur Magazine? I didn't even know they were publishers, but I'm like, that would be my dream. So every month I read the magazine, and I would just picture in my mind, I want my book in the back of that magazine. And so I walk in that room, and then he's, saying my book is with Entrepreneur. And so there's 100 other speakers and authors in the room. And I raise my hand, and I get my asking gear, and I said, wow. I said, I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I said, I can't even imagine. Congratulations, being featured in there and having them as your publisher and being a VIP contributor for them. That's amazing. I said, I have a new idea for my 9th book, and this is the title I'm working on that I just came up with. And I didn't have a book proposal yet or anything. And I told him what it was. And he said, hey, send me an email. I'll connect you to my publisher directly, who my contact is. And I was like, okay. And then he starts going back to his conversation in his seminar. 5 minutes later, he comes back to me in the seminar, and he goes, hey, remember, Deb, to send me that email. Don't forget. I'm like, no problem. And so within 2 weeks, I was on the phone to Vanessa at Entrepreneur Magazine, his connection there. She loved the book and the title and the direction I wanted to take. She wanted a strong woman. They were featuring more strong women, and they wanted more women authors. She said, how soon can I get the book proposal? And I was writing in a different book proposal because that was a new book idea. And my New York agent didn't like any of the titles I had before that. So I was tired of writing the book proposal. And she was like, and so Entrepreneur is one of the first that heard that title. And she said, I love it. I can't guarantee you that we're going to buy it, but I'm going to push it to the team. I'm like, very first call. No, where do you get on a publisher? I've had other major publishers. You don't even talk to them. It doesn't happen like this. It was that connection and being there, asking gear, believing what I had. But I wasn't even asking him. And that's how it all happened. And then I hired somebody to write the book proposal to get it done fast. And it was a whirlwind. And they got the book out, and now I'm a VIP contributor to them, and my dream publisher. They have just been amazing. And I was just like, I pinched myself. Like, that just all happened from, again, a bit. I wouldn't even say that's a vision. That was just like, okay, let me just put it out there. If I raise my hand and he says that book title sucks, then maybe I'll go to another title. That's probably what I was thinking at the time. I don't know.
Man, that's really awesome. Wow. What's the name of that book?
Yeah, pretty cool. So there's another way. Okay, so I forget about stuff. So then I get picked up for Entrepreneur, and one of the deals in the deal, like with your advance and everything else, they give you a full page ad for your book. So November issue, which was 2 months of 2019, the book came out, and I thought, like a little cheeky, I would do some photo shoots with me with a Superwoman cape on. And cape, like Success is Easy, right? So I had this cape, and I did the photo shoot with that. They fell in love with it, and they don't even usually put the author's photo in the magazine. So full page of me with the Superwoman cape on it, the October-November issue of Entrepreneur with my book. Like, that was cool.
That's cool. Wow. Man, this is amazing.
So I'm speaking to like all the couples out there. I'm thinking about that. You got to be able to raise your hand, meaning you got to be able to take that first step to put it out there. You know, if you want to be able to connect with people, you got to raise your hand and say, hey, I'm interested. Hey, I want the information. And that's really, really important, because there's some people that were probably in that room that wanted to raise their hand and didn't. But look, you raised your hand. So, there's that opportunity.
Let me tell you how I raised my hand with this guy. All right. Okay. So I put him up there again. All right. So we start dating, right? 2 months into the dating, we start falling in love. And he says, well, I don't know about this. I don't think the timing's right. And I said, what? Are you crazy? The timing? Yes, it's right. I've been for 20 years to find you. Don't be going anywhere, So that was another one. Like, okay, That's when it's like asking, going, okay, sometimes you're going to have to do that too, even in a relationship. Like, someone wants to go this way and you're like, oh, no, you're not leaving. Like, this is too good. And I'm sure you guys have done that too. Just having a fight sometimes, like, I'm going. You might be going to the grocery store, but at that moment, you felt like walking out. Like,
right. That's true.
I understand. I know those moments. Wow. I mean, this has just been dynamic.
So, tell us now, if someone say, hey, I want to work with Debbie Allen, how can they, get in contact with you?
Well, I do a signature event once a year. It's called the Highly Paid Expert. Of course, I wrote the book on it. So I have a book, I have an online course, and I do a 3-day live event. I would love to have you guys come out, your followers. It's November 5th, 6th, 7th in Scottsdale. And when I met Shay Brown, that's where I got on your show, right? Because Shay Brown, right? Okay. So I met Shay on a podcast, and then I said, Shay, you need to come out to my event. Next thing I knew, he was out of my event. It was like 2 weeks later or something, right? We became good buds, and he met amazing people that were all on his show since then. But I do the Highly Paid Expert that 3 days, November 5th, 6th, 7th in Scottsdale. And that's where you really can see me on stage a lot, talking about how to position yourself as an expert. Even if it's just an idea, you say, I want to position myself as an expert in some business. I've got an idea, but I don't know how to do it. And that's what I do, is help brand them, put the website together, teach them how to speak and sell. All of that I put together. And so, you can go to debbieallen.com and then click on events, and you'll know about my events. And I'd be happy to I'd sponsor some of your people to come out to my event too, so that you can just really come and take it seriously. So I can give a sponsor link before we get off the call. I've been doing events for 15 years. They're dynamic and they're great. The other way is to reach out to me through my website. Just send me an email, debbie@debbieallen.com, telling me saw me on your show, and say, I'd like to know more. My mentoring programs are all on the website, but I want to know more about how I can connect with you and maybe work with you personally.
Wow.
Okay.
That's awesome.
You have a beautiful website. I love it.
Love it.
Oh, wow. It's really nice.
A wealth of information. So make sure, if you're listening now or to the replay, connect with her at debbie@debbieallen.com and just mention that you saw her on the Marriage Can Win live show. This is phenomenal. Make sure you mark down those dates on your calendars, November 5th, 6th, and 7th in Scottsdale, Arizona. And it's the Highly Paid Expert. It's a 3-day live event. So make sure you block that time off in your calendar now.
So you can go to highlypaidexpertworkshop.com. But if you send me a personal email and you said, I saw you on the show and I kind of dig what you had to say, you got something going on, I want to come out there to Scottsdale and hang out with you, you just tell me that, and I will give you a sponsor ticket, waive the fee because you came from this show, and I'll let you come as my guest for free.
Wow.
Awesome. Okay, everybody, you hear that? Get the pencil paper. If you miss it. Yes.
Get your ass in here.
Exactly.
That's right.
I'm telling you, I'm just excited. I mean, here is an awesome entrepreneur. I mean, talking about perseverance. I mean, just listening for her will just jack you up and get you excited. Like, wow.
I'm sitting here writing the list of all the stuff. Like, I'm supposed to be doing this.
I'm telling you.
I'm running out of note paper here.
I hope you do come, because it will be. What I did is actually, when I mentioned that I had spoken in 28 countries, so I did the 28 countries when the economy crashed, and I was like one of the top 3% of women speakers in the whole country, and then there's no business. And what good was that? So I went international, and I was international about 3.5 years. And so from that, I learned that I needed to create other income streams besides just being a one-trick pony as a paid speaker. And that's when I started doing more events and doing more mentoring programs and specialty events and more books and products and online courses. And that's what I teach people, is how to become a highly paid expert with multiple income streams. Because what you do here, you're teaching Marriage Can Win, because by communicating that is a podcast, it is a book, it is an event, it is an online course. I mean, you just go on, it's still communicating the same way. It's just how people come in. You're still giving that, so you're giving that diversity of other income streams through that. And so that's a concept of what I teach.
Wow.
That's awesome. Wow.
That is awesome.
It's basically teaching my life's work because I had to learn to do it when things changed. And then now I have a lifestyle business and I get to say yes and no to what I want. But so I'm basically, it's just me teaching what my life's work is, exactly how to do it and how I've done it through books and courses and speaking and selling. And it's just been my whole life's work. So I love when I get to do that from the signature event because it's just me saying, here it is, step by step, lay it all out, figure out the pieces you want. And then I do live hot seats on stage as well. And people come up and they tell me what their idea is. And we just vision the whole thing and create their whole business plan together in like 10 minutes.
Wow. Now that is phenomenal. You said that's called live hot seats? That's awesome.
Yeah, live hot seats. So they come on stage and we work it. Yeah. Sometimes I'm doing those now virtually on these master classes because now I've had to, all these speaking engagements I had on virtual. So I'm actually doing those hot seats on interview calls now. So somebody will come on and then we'll work on something like, oh, I want to do an online course. I don't know where to start. And I'll like just rattle it off and give them a whole plan. Like, and we usually do 5 minutes on a hot seat online. It works great.
I like that. That's awesome.
That's really nice. Wow.
That's awesome. So what's next for you? I know you have the highly paid expert in November. Do you have any other events that you're going to be personally hosting, like online or what's next for Debbie Allen?
Right. So if they go to my website and they sign up for the video tips there, they'll be on my list. So then you'll hear about the master classes I've got coming up. So I started jumping on master classes with other experts besides my podcast that I do called Success is Easy. You can listen into that. But my master classes are like us doing an interview like this. I'll bring an expert in. So I've got a lot of those coming up and I'll continue to do those through the summer. They're all free to come in and listen to. I've got one I'm working on right now that'll come out probably the end of May or June called Get Clients, Client Attraction Success with Ease. So I'm going to give you the strategies of how to create marketing funnels to get consistent clients coming into you from taking a cold prospect and making them a warm buyer. So that's a new one I'm working on right now. So yeah, sign up. You're going to get lots of education. And I believe in just giving, because when you just give to people, the right people will come on board. And I never have a problem getting clients because it's just like manifest the right people that I work with personally.
Wow. That's just awesome.
That is.
No, man, this like really been an awesome show, and I'm like, wow, a wealth of knowledge and experience has been coming across here. So all of our listeners, oh man, you have been in for a treat.
Yes.
If you're just getting in, you got to catch the replay.
Yes.
Also, you'll be able to get the same information on our podcast at marriagescanwinpodcast.com. It's going to be available there 24/7. Now, Sakeisha and I, if you know, we are embarking on a project as well. And we have this book coming out, and we're in collaboration with 12 other authors. And everybody is really talking about their defining moment in their marriages. And those defining moments could have been disastrous, or they could have been where success began. And for us, that's where success began. This business was birthed out of our defining moment in our marriage.
I love it.
Everybody out there has had a defining moment in the marriage. And that's why our book is called Struggling to Keep the Vows. And right now, we actually are in the pre-sales and I think the first 20, and we still have a few more spots left. The first 20 that buy the book will actually be acknowledged in our book. And all you have to do is go to sakeisha.strugglingtokeepthevowsbook.com, and you'll be able to purchase the book, and you'll lock yourself in to being acknowledged in our book.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that because we've been working with couples for so long. And there are people out there with so many different powerful stories on how they were able to overcome different challenges, be it bankruptcy, walking in forgiveness, being able to reestablish trust, so many different things. And we're putting it together and one amazing package. And we have we have a therapist on board with us, and she's going to be including her strategies as well. So it's going to be dynamic. It should be released towards the end of the summer, beginning fall. So make sure you get your pre-sales copy today, because we're super, super excited.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, needed. I mean, talk about solving a problem. That's a good one right there. I love it.
Awesome.
Oh, yes. So before we go, Debbie, do you have any last words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the viewing audience?
On business or in a relationship, or what?
Both.
You have a wealth of knowledge.
So in business, my favorite quote is, "What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail?" Oh. And so that always will push me to keep going when I think, mine is never give up. Just never give up. I've always had that attitude, and that's what helped me be a successful entrepreneur. Same with my husband. It's like, we don't give up. And so if you knew that you had that magic, fairy dust right now, hey, just go for it. You can't fail. What would you do? And when you think it's a challenge, go to the things that were like, me cutting up that credit card or whatever it was. Like, hey, I was like, where'd you get a little sassy? Where'd you get a little build the confidence from, and go with that. And as far as, in a relationship, I think, knowing each other is, knowing that I'm not the one that has to, I'm not that giver where it's like, I'm not going to cook. You're not going to get that from me. You're not going to be like, I can hire somebody to clean my house and get somebody to cook, or I can go out to eat. So that's not like I'm not that kind of nurture giver, but my husband is. And I've had to learn that it's okay to receive when this independent girl hasn't been used to receiving. And I think, just knowing what your needs are, and that's there's a book out for that. You guys know about it, I'm sure, like the 9, what's it called? The 9 Ways of Love, the Languages of Love, right?
Oh, yes, the love language.
I read that many years ago, and that really was helpful to me to kind of define, like, I don't have to be like him. I just have to understand what's important to him, and accept that, because that makes him feel good.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
That was powerful.
Awesome. Well, that's awesome, man. I tell you, we would just like to thank all of our broadcast viewers for tuning in to our show. Mm-hmm. And we really like to give a big gold star to Debbie Allen. And we
Debbie.
Really appreciate you for joining us and sharing all of your experiences and wisdom. It's been really a treat. It's been really, it's like hitting the lottery when it comes to the radio show and the television show. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yes.
You guys are a joy, Eric and Sakeisha. You're going to have to come out and see me, and I want to meet you in person and give you a big warm hug. So I hope you come out to Scottsdale and come to the event, because you guys are a really precious gift. And I'm glad that my friend Shay Brown introduced us, and then I want to continue to be friends with you guys, because you're awesome. And I'm serious. I want to come to your event. I want you to come to mine. I want to go to your event. And I want us to become friends, because you guys are dynamos. And I'm going to share this out to all of my network so that more people can hear your message and follow you.
Oh, wow. Thank you. We're going to have you on our radio show, too. Yeah. That's when we can have callers call in. We're in Orlando, and we get callers from Maryland and Pennsylvania, from all over the world. We get callers. So we're definitely going to have to get you on that show as well. And I tell you, this has been a blessing to have connected with you. So everybody, don't forget, tune in to the Marriage Can Win show on the Love Radio Network every Tuesday night at 9:00 p.m. And then, so our closing message to everybody is?
It's just a reminder, you can be the change you want to see in your relationship. So we thank you guys again so much for tuning in, and we will see you again next time.
Bye. We want to thank you for joining us today on our broadcast.
Let's keep the conversation going. You can connect with us via Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or subscribe to our YouTube channel under Marriage Can Win.
Also, you can join us 24/7 on our Marriage Can Win podcast at www.themarriagecanwinshow.com, and also connect to us at marriagescanwin.com.
Remember, you can be the change you want to see in your relationship. Until next time, see you soon.